we're good. Okay, we're going to assume that we're good. So today we have two workouts set. The
Tom's
first
not
one.
going to be here for either.
Yeah, I'm running away.
He's doing the.
I have errands. So we have the first one is an every minute on the minute, which is going to be candlestick burpees. Chelsea's going to demonstrate one of these now.
No, we're going to do.
Because I want to see it. Go.
No, you're not staying for the workout. You're not going to get to see it.
Miss it. And then we have an AMRAP as well with some different exercises. But before we get into any of that, let's just do a little bit of mobility work, just to loosen up a little bit. Okay, so first thing, feet on the ground, hands on the ground. We're just going to roll our hips from side to side. It's been quite a quad intensive week so far this week.
It's not going to get any better today.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's why I'm going away, in all honesty. It's not because we've got an incredibly busy schedule and not enough time in the day.
I mean, that is the case, though.
But the reason I'm running away.
Yes.
The schedule, yes. It's fear. Fear is why I'm running away. Nice. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Okay, so we're going to rock backwards and forwards. Just pulling ourselves up. Okay, we have literally 3 naps that we can do all of our work in with feet up. So about 3 hours, and it's like, it just means
we're lucky
so
if it's
busy.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Because she's on these like nap strikes that are just completely miserable to deal with.
Yeah. So it's really quite challenging.
I don't care if she doesn't need a nap. She's taking a nap. Like, I'm all about letting your child, have autonomy, but she's taking a nap.
Yeah, we're going to do some bootstraps. So hook those fingers underneath your toes. Is that right? Yeah, that was the right way. You can tell it's going badly if I can't remember. Think about
yesterday. Tom couldn't remember how to do cross choke.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how to do cross choke, and also I didn't turn the baby's light off.
Yeah,
so she went to sleep.
He didn't turn the baby's light off. Left her sleep sack in her bed, so yeah. she was sleeping on something lumpy all night.
Yeah, what did I do this morning? I did something this morning, which again was equally as ridiculous.
I don't know.
It's just one of those things. Okay, so just keep going up and down. Yeah, go into this other variation, same thing. This is also why I'm leaving.
Make sure that when you leave, you lock the door.
Yeah. I also have to do a podcast for my friend Matt later today, so that's going to be very interesting. So, and I think I'm the first episode, so it's like, it's equally pressured because, people listen to the first episode or whatever. Nice. Good job. Okay, into Cossack stretch.
Yeah,
just transition from side to side. Yeah, it's all right. I'll have lots.
I'm really interested to see what Tom comes home from the store with. It'll probably be like pop, chips, and cider, and nothing else. Maybe a bag of nuts.
Some nuts. There'll be vegetables.
Yeah, maybe like 3 things of broccoli and nothing else. But we did finally get some flour.
Yeah, we did.
So I could continue
some strong white.
My baking.
Yeah, from here, we're going to go across. We're going to do our scorpion stretch from one side to the other. Well, Chelsea's just going to look at me apparently for some reason.
How are we supposed to do that in here?
We do tons of stuff in here.
Yes.
It actually doesn't take up that much space.
You might think you're not taking up that much space, but you're taking up the whole room.
Right, look, I'll lay this way around. You can go diagonals. And relax there. That was the little bit of basic mobilization.
Okay, go away.
And so I'm going to leave. I'll leave you in Chelsea's capable hands. She's going to do all the talking today. So
yeah, it's going to be a nice quiet workout.
I'm excited to watch this back. Have a great session.
Okay. So we've got candlestick burpees, but we've also, I'm sorry, we don't have Spotify Prime because that's on Tom's phone. So we have an advertisement right now. Our candlestick burpees are a variation on a burpee. So the hips come up, pull your feet underneath you, drop into your burpee. Hips come up, feet come underneath you, drop into your burpee. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple, really good for lifting your hips up. That motion that we use for triangles, omoplatas, sweeps, pretty much everything in jiu-jitsu. And we are doing every minute on the minute, we're doing 15 of these. Okay, so it's 10 minutes. It's every minute on the minute. You should be pretty pressed for time on those. And I'm going to fix my music because Spotify, when it's not premium, is very finicky. I don't know why. And let's get started here. Okay, so I don't have round timer on my phone, so I'm just using this the normal app, but you should be able to see it. All right. Man, this stupid. I'm gonna steal Tom's password for his Spotify Premium later today. Okay, ready, and let's go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no. I might have to drop these down to 10. My wrist is not letting me do them as fast as I'd like. Okay, so I'm gonna have to drop that down for 15 to 10. My wrist is not letting me move as fast as I'd like to. Go away. He's standing at the door staring at me instead of going to the store. Okay, we got 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if you're quick, you might be able to get 15 of those. If you're not, like me, you can do 10, scale your workout appropriately. That's a good amount for me because I'm getting about 25 seconds of break. And now I'm gonna go get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. I'm slowing down, so this is going to be a tough one. It's all right. It's just been a tough week. It's fine. Okay, I got 5 seconds. 1 and 2, 8. All right. These are a really good movement for jiu-jitsu, I think, because you're moving from your back to your front, and you're using your whole body to do the movement, and they take longer than I thought they would. So I'm almost halfway through. Let's see, 3, 2, 1, and more. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, we're halfway through. We've got 5 more rounds. This one should be pushing your endurance a little bit more than the ones we've been doing lately. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whew. Okay, I've got 3, 4 rounds left. Something like that. And we gotta go again. Six, 7. All right. Okay. Now we have 3 rounds left. So we're getting through it. 5 seconds. So I would recommend 10 of these rather than 15. And we're off again. Okay. So slowing down a little bit. I'm ending with about 15 seconds of rest. It's not enough, but that's okay because we've only got a couple rounds left. And we will soldier on. 2, 1, and hold on. So we've got 1 round left. Again, I ended up with about 15 seconds of rest. And it's really not enough. That's okay. Like I said, 2, 1, and last round. And 10. All right. So that was the first bit of our workout. Again, I ended up with about 13 seconds left. So that's a tough every minute on a minute when you've only got 10 seconds or so. All right. So I'm going to give this about a minute of rest. And then we'll go on into our next bit. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to go through the exercises. So our first exercise is Bulgarian split squats. If you have like a box or a chair or something, you can put your foot up on it and do them that way. That's a really good way. Or you can just do them like this. This is the way I'm going to do them today because I don't have a chair in here or anything. So our next one is squat thrusts. So this is like a mimic of the last exercise we did where you're jumping your feet up. Okay, we've got 10 of those. I don't know if I said, we've got 5 Bulgarian split squats on each side. Then we've got our elevated press up. I'm going to use a kettlebell. You can use anything. You can use a book. You can use a chair. It doesn't matter. So we're going to do 5 on each side. Just a press up on each side. You might see me go to my knees on those because my wrist is still bothering me. So 5 on each side, 5 with one hand, 5 with the other hand. Like I said, I've just got a kettlebell here and I'm going to put my arm up on. It just changes the angle a little bit of the press up. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so our next one is a headstand press. So you get up in your headstand or on your toes. You can press with a straddle. So you can press with a straddle here. You can press with a pike, or you can press with a tuck. It doesn't matter. And you do either 5 or until failure, which means if you can only do 1, you try to do 1, and you try to do as many as you can each time. You can try all the different variations of that. This is really good for balance. It's something that we haven't really had a chance to work much because obviously we're not doing very much jiu-jitsu right now. So doing these kinds of handstand complexes or headstand complexes are really good for all of your supporting muscles, all of your core. It works it in a way that you don't get just by doing abs. Okay, so and then our last one is a pistol squat negative. So it's like the equivalent of a guard pull. So you bump onto the floor, then you can use both legs to stand up. You can do a technical stand up if you want. You pull your foot underneath you. The important bit is this guard pull motion. Okay, all the way to butt on the floor, working those guard pulling muscles. Okay, so all of these are either 10 or 5 per side. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to do as many as we can in 10 minutes. It's a round of 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock here. I've got my list. The only thing that's not 10, is the handstand. So that's 5 or until failure. Okay, so you don't have to do tons of rounds of this. This is as many rounds as possible, but it is a little bit more strength-based, so make sure you're doing good movements rather than working on speeding through the movements. Right, so let's get started, and we're off. We'll start with Bulgarian split squats. Now we've got squat thrusts. I'm going to turn the music up, don't mind me. The next one. All right, so next one is our elevated press up. Like I said, books fine, weights are fine, whatever you got. Okay, so we've got our handstand press. And then we've got our pistol squats, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Ooh. That's not my guard pulling leg. It's crazy how uneven you get on something. Okay, back to our Bulgarian split squat. So that's one round. Squat thrust. Press ups. So some of you have been messaging me to ask what happened to my wrist. I have no idea. It just one day puffed up and got angry. Because that's jujitsu for you. Okay, headstand presses. If you can on those, don't touch the, or don't put your weight on the ground through your toes. Obviously, if you have to, do it. So I'm actually finding these to be a really good approximation of a guard pull. Especially with my hands out in front of me. There's 2 rounds. Okay, back to Bulgarian split squats. I don't know why I did so many legs this week. Okay. The hardest thing about planning these workouts is finding upper body work, actually. Obviously, it's easy to do upper body work when you've got weights, but if we're trying to work without weights, it's much harder. Pressing movements are always good, are always easy to find, but pulling movements are harder. Okay. We're about 4.5 minutes through. This is I'm finishing my third round. Whew. All right. Okay, squat press. Okay, press ups. All right, then we've got our presses. Whoop. That happens too. Don't worry about it. Make sure you roll out if you lose control. And as I start to fatigue, that happens more and more. Good for you. I know on yoga for Bjj, they say that if you're doing handstands, try not to forward roll out of them. Try and cartwheel out of them. I don't have a whole lot of space in here to cartwheel out. Also, it's a headstand, so it's a little bit harder to cartwheel. Just do your best, guys. Okay, squat thrust. Okay, press ups. Ooh, that's a terrible noise. All right. Oh, where are we at? Oh, presses. This one is a tough one to talk through. All right. And, I've got 20 seconds. Gotta finish. All right. So that was, I think, 5 rounds for me. Having to double check. I lost count. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we're gonna do some brief stretching, and then we will call it a day there. So most of that was legs, and I actually feel relatively loose after the every minute on the minute bit. But let's start with the our King Arthur's pose. I feel like this is a really good one. So again, make sure your hips are tucked under. There's a straight line down your hip. Okay, start to turn. And make sure your hip doesn't fold as you turn. Keep pushing it forward. Okay, step into our lunge. And I like to kind of lean back and forth here because my calves get super tight, actually tighter than my quads usually. So I like to rock back and forth because this is one of the only motions that I can actually fold my ankle enough to stretch my calf. So rock back and forth here, and then drop your knee. Okay. And again, I like to rock back and forth here. I know that there's different schools of thought on the whole movement and stretching thing, but I think it feels nice, so I like to do it. Now I'm going to plant my hand and turn up towards the ceiling, stretching, and try and open up your fingers as you stretch. It'll actually help you stretch everything a little bit better. Take a few breaths and then switch sides. And as you stretch here, sink lower into your hip. Both hands go back to the floor and then back up into your lunge. Okay, if you want, you can start to stretch your hamstring here. I find that this puts a lot of stress on my knee, so I don't like to do that movement. If you prefer, you can stretch back this way, which is the way I like to stretch. I tuck my toes in, and it always reminds me of Swan Lake, of like the dying swans. So that's what I think of, but you can think of whatever you'd like. Okay. And I like to stretch my hamstring this way. Like I said, this takes the pressure off my knee. When I'm standing and I do it, it doesn't feel nice. So I just stretch my chest down towards my leg. Now back up. Move around in this position a little bit, see if there's anything else that needs to be addressed. I'm feeling all right, so let's switch sides. So we're here. First thing is turning. I'm going to turn so that I can make sure I'm in alignment here. Looks okay. Turn. Okay. Let's get into our lunge. And again, I like to use this time to really stretch my foot and my calf by rocking back and forth, kind of exaggerated. This can also help you get some flexibility in your toes for your toes on the mat position. Okay, plant one hand, turn up towards the ceiling. Like I said, stretch those fingers, sink down into your hip. Will help. Okay, and switch. I'll be able to do this side very effectively. Okay, stretching up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna have to put my knee down to protect my wrist. Okay. All right, now we're gonna do our hamstrings. Like I said, if this feels nice to you, start doing this one. I don't like it. I'm gonna do this variation where you tuck your leg underneath and stretch down towards your toes. Okay. I like to, because I'm relatively flexible, I like to grab my foot and pull my chest towards my foot. If you lack that flexibility, you can do like Tom does and reach beyond the foot to pull your belly down towards your leg. Okay, that's like a personal flexibility thing. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to stretch actually doesn't look like a stretch at all, but I promise you you'll feel it. So you're gonna go up on your toes like you're kind of like you're in closed guard and you're up on your toes. I actually don't sit on my toes in closed guard, but if you were. Now, you're gonna tuck your toes underneath you and sink your weight back onto your heels. You should feel this in your toes, and it should almost feel like your toes are about to snap off. They won't, but that's all those ligaments in your feet that get super tight just from using them, just from walking around, from wearing uncomfortable shoes, from doing all kinds of stuff that we do on a daily basis. We don't think about those little muscles and ligaments in our feet, but this is a great way to get your foot flexibility better. Okay, and even though my feet are flexible, it hurts. Like, it hurts really bad. This is always the part in a yoga class when you do this and you look around and everybody in the class, regardless of how flexible they are, looks like they're in miserable pain. Okay, so just stay here for as long as you can, and then tuck your toes under nice and slow. We're just going to go into some child's pose for a second here and breathe. I like to do this at the end of like a workout session because it just is a really good way to relax everything because there's no pressure really on anything here. And I can just breathe and sink down with my hips into the position. Your toes shouldn't be tucked under in this one. This should just be flat on the floor. And then if you want, you can stretch side to side in your child's pose. You could stretch your shoulders a little bit. I just find it a good way to kind of slow down and relax at the end of the session. So that was a good session. You should obviously stretch anything that's feeling tight. Like, we've had quite a few tough workouts this week. I actually feel nice and loose after that first every minute on the minute. I think it really got my muscles moving a little bit. Obviously, like I said, stretch anything that doesn't feel good. Let us know your rounds for this one. I'm going to change the workout to reflect what we actually did, which was 10 candlestick burpees instead of 15. And other than that, I will see you guys here tomorrow. There's less legs tomorrow, I promise. I've scaled the workout back for tomorrow because we have been doing a lot this week. And other than that,